Easy, you didn't show up the other night,
I'm
either.
gonna say, where were you at the school
I ain't
hearing?
gonna say nothing nice, I ain't gonna show up.
Well.
I get myself in enough trouble.
Well, I don't think that I said anything bad, but I probably didn't agree with everybody.
No, I think it would be literally impossible to agree with everybody. It might be hard to agree with half of them.
You know what? I'm over it. I still slept last night.
There you go. I already know how I'm gonna vote, doesn't matter if I win or not.
Sorry, you get double microphone.
Double brother.
Put an end to that.
How come you guys had school buses rolling yesterday morning?
RSU 5 never.
No, they did. They canceled yesterday. It was, he's
Lisbon.
talking about Lisbon.
Lisbon was rolling. I was on plowing.
I couldn't believe it. I said, I could not believe I was seeing them.
I tell you what, meet them someone's back roads with the wind down, you're like, I'm gonna wait now, I'm gonna go by, then put my wind back down, but wow.
Well, initially at 6 in the morning when I found out that school was canceled, I was like, really? What are you talking about?
In June, those kids are still going to school, and Lisbon's all out, and you're saying, oh.
But then, as the day went on, I guess I got it.
Yeah, but at the time you're gonna come home, that's when it turned out to be the best time.
Yeah, but going to school is pretty
They-
nasty.
I used to go to school in 10, 12 inches of snow, 10 years or so ago.
Uphill both ways.
Yeah,
Uphill both
Uphill,
ways.
barefoot.
I can remember riding up down the road in snowmobiles before we had to go to school.
We all set?
All set.
All set.
Okay. Anytime, Shannon. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum for the 5 selectmen are here. Could we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Amendments to the agenda. I have one, anyway. We'll call it 7C, and that's the Spirit of America Award. I think we briefly discussed this a couple months ago, but we need to finalize on that. Are there any other amendments that you're aware of?
The only other thing is whether or not, there were multiple emails over the weekend about the cutting, and just to address that we don't have an ordinance, and is it something we want to look at with the comprehensive plan?
I can mention it in
Just to-
selectmen comments, but
And then we have to add the minutes from the public hearing.
okay, so that would be
part of the consent.
B1, basically, minutes from public hearing under consent agenda.
Mhm.
Anything else? So I'll do the wood cutting thing kind of under the selectmen's comments.
Okay.
All right. Any public comment this evening? All right. The candidate forum. So we decided to open this up for anybody who's running for office in our upcoming municipal election. Give them a few minutes if they want to come and introduce themselves. So.
Hello, my name is Wade Kaplinger. This is my wife, Juliet. Thank you for allowing me to introduce myself to the board and to the community. I'd like to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about myself, why I think I'll qualify for the selectman position, and what I would do for the community if elected. Me and my family moved to Maine in May of 2014. Juliet is from Maine, and our careers allowed us to make a move. We recently bought a house and land located on Royalsboro Road. My 5-year-old daughter is enrolled at the Durham Community School, and my 3-year-old son is right behind her. I work in the procurement department at Bath Iron Works. Before that, I was general manager over 2 recycling plants located in central and northwest Arkansas. I graduated from the University of Arkansas in 2004 with a bachelor's degree in psychology. I understand that there may be speculation that I may not qualify because I'm new to the area. Since arriving in Durham, I've met with many concerned citizens. Going door to door, attending the public hearing, or just hanging out at the get and go has given me sight on several issues in the town. Durham is an intriguing town, and I feel it would be a good fit to represent the community. Also, this is my first time on a ballot. I've always planned on being involved in whatever community me and my family decided to live in. I've been able to sit in on several selectmen meetings to get acclimated with the process of local politics, and I feel I'd pick it up quickly. As for work experience, at BIW, I apply competitive bids and cost analysis to contracts that involve millions of dollars. There's heavy oversight and zero room for error. Before BIW, I managed a single-digit profit margin bottom line for 10 years. So I understand what it means to stay within budget by going through each line item on a general ledger to allocate funds where they are needed. There will be emergency situations or events out of our control that will require funds. I get that. When human error or bad decisions are involved, I would expect to identify root cause and apply corrective action so it doesn't happen again. Lastly, I am an honest family man who believes in doing the right thing and living by common sense values. If elected, my intentions would be to listen, make collective decisions with the other board members and the local officials. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. This is open for any, so. Right, and,
I didn't know if there would be questions or.
I'm ready to give you my
We
seat
ain't
right
been here
now.
long enough to have any questions.
Well, I didn't know the format of it, so if there
Yeah.
are questions, I'd be happy to elaborate on any of that, or if there are specific questions on anything that you may have.
I don't,
I think you covered it all.
Yeah.
Very good job.
Okay.
Thank
you.
Awesome. Thank you for the opportunity.
thank you. And both Mark and I are up for reelection, and I'm gonna forego doing anything, and you were too?
Yeah.
Okay, so, no one else
There is a-
here's,
The other candidate is,
Hmm?
is there another candidate?
there is
There's
another
one other
candidate,
candidate.
and were there any for the budget committee as well?
Kevin's the only one running for the budget committee.
Okay, so,
Write-ins.
okay,
Well, yes.
yeah. All right, on to the consent agenda.
I would move that we accept the consent agenda as amended to include the minutes from the withdrawal
Second.
hearing.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Action and discussion items. First one is act on the Town of Lisbon dispatch contract, and that should be in your packet. Did you say something about we have to have the dates?
Well, I
adjusted, or-
would probably contact Diane and just have her adjust the dates, but I assume that it would be the same contract.
And I'm looking for where, okay, there it is on number 4, so, and number 3. And I'm looking for it, but I'm assuming this is at the $3 per capita.
Yeah.
Yes, it's paragraph 4, the second line.
Thank you. Okay. Open for a motion.
I move that we accept the agreement with Lisbon as laid out here for us.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Okay. Discussion on warrant articles, and this is specifically related to some more correspondence that we had from MMA on the alternative warrant. And if I'm not mistaken from the last one, she's basically, the MMA person is deferring to what our
Right,
attorney had suggested.
Yes.
And, which is what we have on the warrant, so I don't believe there's that it's necessary to change it. I do think that possibly in the future, if this is accepted this year, that we look at possibly adopting it similar to how Mexico did that, looked like it was a little bit clearer, and it's would be a one article item. And-
Right, and my understanding from our town attorney is because we do not have a charter, this is an issue that would have to be adopted on an annual basis, that we would have to say that the budget will go to public referendum
Do,
every year.
Mexico does it annually as well.
do we know if Mexico has a charter?
I don't know if they have a charter. What they do for the referendum is they have an ordinance, but
Right,
they vote on the ordinance every single
right,
year.
and the ordinance that actually says that it expires, sunsets at the next year, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
But,
and my understanding from the legal standpoint is that in the absence of a charter, we can't bind subsequent selectmen
right,
to
and it's really,
this plan.
it's really actually not binding to the,
No, it's at the discretion of.
it's a, yeah, it's a recommendation, but, because we don't have a charter, the selectmen have the authority to call a meeting the way they prefer. But, not that I would suggest them ignoring, but,
No, and I have actually heard a surprising amount of public feedback really in favor of this, of having the budget be voted on at a regular ballot annually, which,
so, unless we do have time to change it, but unless there's, a need to change it, I think we're okay.
Yeah,
Do we have a signed warrant yet, or have we signed the warrant already?
Yeah, but I'm gonna print up another one and have you sign it again.
Okay, because we do need to get that posted.
Oh, it's posted on the website?
But at the store, is it posted?
Oh, it's not posted at the store.
And it needs to be posted here too.
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
The only thing that I'm aware of that might come up as a change during town meeting was that $50,000 mark from the 40 to the 50 that you
We
were
left that
talking.
blank. We left that blank and the date of how long they have it done. Blank.
Well, no, this was, what's the article? The one we talked about, that the committee had talked about, and we're gonna vote on a town meeting for 40,000, but in here it says 50, and I think that was,
right, that all,
article are you referring to?
that's what I'm trying
Are
to,
you-
36.
right, that all warrant articles in excess of 50,000 be voted on by
Right.
secret ballot.
And I think that was supposed to be 40, it may be a typo, but that was the impression I got when I talked to
I
them.
thought
but
that originally they had talked about 50,000 when they came.
They may have, but I,
This is what we approved, so-
Right.
and I think 40 was the number that we put in the other. I think yes. So Article 5 was for this year,
it's 40.
was for 40
Yep.
for a written ballot for, to see if the town would do all articles over 40,000 be written ballot. And I think there was a difference between the numbers. This year they wanted it the 40,000,
Right.
and next year it was the 50, I believe.
That may be. I happened to see him and asked him the other day, and he was thinking that it was 40, but I said, well, I remember talking about it with you, and it was 50, so I just wanted to be clear, that's all, but he didn't go any further with it,
And I'm
so.
not sure in thinking about our budget and the various warrant articles that's,
There's only like 4 or 5 that would be
There's-
over that.
right, I'm not sure that that's a distinction of real significance, I'm
No,
not sure.
between 40 and 50, I don't think so. I don't
They're
think
either
over or
well under
over.
50 or
Right.
well over 50.
Yeah.
That was the only comment I heard afterwards about
So-
it, so.
No need to change anything?
No.
Okay, so, yeah, if you want to get that for
Yeah,
us
I'll go print
tonight,
that,
so, yeah. Next up is Spirit of America Award. I believe we briefly discussed this a couple months ago, and the suggestion at that time was for the Congregational Church in general, and specifically Julie Wagoner and Betty Cattell for their efforts in the heating
Yep.
oil, the heating fund donations, the walk that they do, and so on. So that was a suggestion. I don't know if there's any other suggestions that anybody may have.
No, I think that's a good suggestion. They do that every year. They raise a
Yeah.
tremendous amount of money for heating support for people in the community.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we award the Spirit of America Award to the Congregational Church in general and specifically to Julie Wagner and Betty Cattell being posthumously, for their work with the heating fund assistance fundraisers.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries, and I will work with Ruth so that we can notify them and we can get something ready for town meeting. Next up, departments and committees. Chief?
I was sorry I was not able to attend last Monday. I had a conflicting meeting, and Mondays are always, and
It lasted a while.
Yes.
I probably could have come after another meeting.
Yep.
I
Well, that's actually the focus of my report. The focus of my report is actually on the dispatch. Actually, we had the meeting last Monday with Lisbon to talk about the issues and the changes that needed to be made and stuff. A couple of you did make it. Unfortunately, we talked about a lot of the operational issues first rather than the issues that really pertain to perhaps the board or the board had interest in. But I didn't think it was a bad meeting. But today, the other document I gave you was PowerPoint presentation. I went up and met with LA 911 about their proposal. Yeah. Sabatis was there as well. The proposal is contingent on both communities going there. As I talked before, their seats, they don't have any open seats, so they'd actually have to bring on a dispatcher to make it happen. So what you see in the PowerPoint is what she presented and what she's working on doing. It's a substantial increase in our costs. To me, if we considered doing something like that in the future, and I still have Brunswick's information to gather, but if we did consider doing something like that in the future, we need to work on the costs. Because it's based on per capita, not actually the services offered and call volume. If you look on the front page, like Sabatis had 6,000, I think it was, law enforcement calls. If you look at the costs, it's not proportionate based on call volume. It's strictly based on per capita, which is one of the issues when we were doing the dispatch committees going back in time, we were forever running into, is our valuation for the community one is controlled somewhat by Cumberland County. So if you do it valuation based, our valuation tends to jack up our prices. Our per capita tends to comparatively jack up our prices compared to call volume and stuff like that. Most of the time, whenever you're doing the funding formula for dispatch for the town of Durham, unless it's broken down into services rendered, we're better off to focus on call volume. And that's really it. Had the 2 dispatch committee meetings, and that's all I just wanted to update you guys on.
So looking quickly, it would look like they would be coming in somewhere around roughly $9 per capita.
I didn't do the per capita.
I just
but
did.
But that's for both, correct? That's for PSAP.
PSAP and dispatching, yes.
So it would be
Right now, we're at $5.50.
$5.50. So yeah, it'd be $3 plus per capita more to do that.
Yep, and that's primarily if you look at, conversely, if you look at Sabatis's breakdown, this is only $10,000 more per year for 6,000 for dispatching law enforcement with 6,000 calls. So I don't think it's
It's not
If we ever
equitable.
considered doing it, I don't think, I think we should discuss the way it's broken down.
Yeah, 'cause-
Going back, if you look at Lisbon's contract, I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, I didn't go back and look, and I don't think you have it in there, but there's actually, there's a fire and EMS service per capita fee. But then there's also a law enforcement fee that I'm pretty sure Sabatis ends up paying both of those for the dispatching services, which puts them probably, fire and EMS is obviously $3, it's the same as ours. Yeah, but they probably pay anywhere from $3 to $6 per capita for their law enforcement dispatching, so. I would assume for them, they probably saw that as a pretty good number.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably viewing this as a good deal and will be disappointed if it doesn't happen because we don't.
But it's contingent on both communities doing it, and I explained to them that we've already started that we're already in the budget process, that we're pretty much where we're gonna be for the year. The intention was to actually gather the information and perhaps look at whether or not we should be considering changing in the future.
And in addition to the increased per capita cost, there's also obviously the costs of the transfer, which would be a dedicated IT line
Yep, the
as well.
dedicated IT line for the radio communications. Yeah, and I want to say the proposal from Sheriff's Department, I'm guessing, but I was thinking off the top of my head that Sheriff's Department was eating about half of it, and we were still ending up paying about $1,800, which would mean that it was $3,600 to $4,000 for the reoccurring cost. Never mind the moving costs you have the moving costs of
Right, so that's
the
adding
equipment
$1 per capita
and-
more.
yeah, and then you have migrating. If you don't want to lose your any of the information that's entered in the system, your records, your historical records in regard to responses and stuff, you have to pay to migrate those over as well. They don't just instantly and cheaply transfer. And that, I know going back in time, we chose to actually, when we went with Lisbon, we chose to keep our old IMC software on the server at the station so that we didn't have to pay the cost of migrating the old historical information to the Lisbon server, because yeah, I'm guessing, but it was in excess of 15,000. I know that to move that over.
So it sounds like we're gonna sit tight for right
Changing
now.
dispatches. I mean, sometimes you look at the per capita and the cost for the service and stuff, but it can be pretty expensive
Yeah.
with the equipment and.
The one question that I really didn't get an opportunity to ask last Monday, but that I would actually, if there's any statistics on it from Lisbon, I'd like to know what the transfer time, what the average transfer time is on the call from the PSAP to the dispatch. Because
I actually don't know if we necessarily even have to rely on Lisbon to get that information, but I'll ask some questions and see. I actually think we can go to I think that's all recorded and the records are actually probably filed with state 911 board and stuff, but I'm not positive of that, so I'll ask some questions.
they didn't address it in the presentation, but
Yeah.
it's an interesting. It would be an interesting number to know. 'Cause, I mean, I'm guessing it's between 30 seconds and a minute to transfer from one to the other, but I don't know. That's why I kind of want to find out.
I think 30 seconds to a minute is probably a pretty good transfer time.
Yeah.
In the case of a medical call, they have to dispatch, there's requirements. The dispatcher has to EMD it, emergency medical dispatch, and basically go through a series of questions. Which that's one thing with smaller dispatch centers or 911 PSAP centers, if they only staff with one person, they can't stop the EMD in order to start the dispatching process. So if there's not two dispatchers in there, EMD have to be completed before the call is actually transferred or dispatched out to the personnel. Which it'd be one thing if the station was staffed full-time, but where the station's not staffed full-time, you've already got response time to the station and then response time to the scene. They can't afford to add another 2, 3, 4 minutes to that time constantly, or you're up in the 20-minute time frame from the time the call was received until units are actually off on scene.
Okay.
20 minutes is,
That's a long time.
yes, it is.
It seems like probably 3 times as long to whoever's waiting.
Yes, it does.
So,
Yep. So anyways, that's all I had for my report, is just to kind of update you where I was with the dispatch research and on the meeting. Did we have enough copies to get to you? Probably not.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Code enforcement, he didn't really have anything to present, so I excused him for the evening. Town administrator, anything?
I do. Grab one.
Why are you excited? You have something.
So the first thing is, I went to training called cybersecurity, and they asked me the question of, are you really protected? And my answer was, I don't know. And so I think that we need to look at the processes and equipment that we have to help with our security here in the town office, determine what we might need, and then write possible policies and schedules as to what needs to be done on what kind of time frames. So, you know, if you have one person who's responsible for it, but for whatever reason, you know, they're sick or something, it can still be done by somebody else in the office, and everybody knows what needs to be done when in order to keep our systems up to date. Shannon Brown, our PIT, and I are reviewing the telecommunications list for the things that we need for town meetings, so we'll be purchasing that and getting that out by town meeting, here by town meeting. Town reports are out. They're available at the town office and at the Get and Go. And I will be working in New Gloucester as a favor on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. And I've included in here an estimate of what they're going to be paying the town for my time on Thursday. Wednesday I don't usually work here anyways, but Thursday they will reimburse the town for me. And then Friday I will be away attending a manager's training up in Bangor. Any questions? I talked to Sarah about that, and she said it would be better if I get Paul to just take care of Wednesday.
For Wednesday, keep it separate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
And just for those that weren't in on any emails before or whatever, this is to help New Gloucester because they don't have any staff in on those days, and the town manager doesn't know how to run the front.
Right, he's never done the window before.
So.
Absolutely.
See, that's the advantage of having an administrator that can run the window.
That's right, well, and he lives
And
right
we're
Durham,
we're
so-
going to have a long memory on this.
Absolutely.
He lives in town here, too,
Yes, he
right?
does.
He's also on the appeals board.
He's a good guy.
Any questions? Road Commissioner?
That's mine. Take that back. Cheat notes on that one.
See, you know, notes on that
Yeah.
one?
That's, there's some, there's an extra one there. So the correspondence, the email, talks about the driveway. The driveway ordinance has to do with the new ordinance that will come into effect. We have water running right down the road that I have to come in oftentimes when no one's here and sand it because it's just water running right down the road. Nothing we can do about it because we don't have an ordinance that we have no ordinance that mandates driveway entrance permits. So, at this point, not much we can do.
Have a question on how the ordinance will help this situation, because is it, it's already a driveway in place, right?
I haven't seen the ordinance. I'm just saying this is what, I guess Paul has told her, or what.
Okay, because, yeah, I mean, I was just wondering how it would affect, and so
I don't-
maybe that'll be a question I need to ask him.
That would be-
Because if it's an existing driveway, I'm not sure how much we can,
It probably would be grandfathered, but moving forward at least, you'll see we won't have this problem. Or hopefully, we'll have a lot less of it. This LD, what number is it? 1637 that you emailed me. I did look at it, and I don't know if you wanna, I will get you an answer on that tomorrow, but
for the other selectmen, I got an email from MMA on a bill that is before the legislature that would require towns that have discontinued or abandoned, and there was a third term that they used, roads. But those those parts of roads are being used by the Postal Service to deliver mail. The bill would require the towns to upkeep them at least winter, and I think summer and winter maintenance on them.
year-round.
Year-round, and on roads that have already been discontinued. So MMA was trying to get an idea of the impact to different towns.
So, to date, I can't think of a road that's discontinued road that they put mail on. I'm thinking we might have one or two, but
Yeah.
I'll call the postmaster tomorrow and see what their route is over here.
Is Ross Road Extension still a town road?
Yep.
Yeah, I've been trying to think of them, and I can't think of any right now, but
You got
There was one up across from my house, but that's been reopened by the people who live down there.
but if
But it's not a public road. They take care of the.
did it used to be a public road?
It was up to where, I'm gonna say where the old Bowen Farm was. And then it
Or maybe
was
Hume
further
Road?
than that, but then it was discontinued and cut off right
But
there.
that's what they're saying. If there's any mail delivery beyond that point that's been discontinued, they may require us to pick maintenance up on it
Now,
again.
that might be on Bowen Road. It
Yeah.
might be.
That's the only one that I can
Because
think of.
that's the one that kind of goes off of Stackpole and then curves and actually comes back onto
No, that's down further. But This
Okay.
one's almost right across from my house. It
Oh,
goes out towards power lines, basically.
okay.
By Megan Huber's house.
Yes, out by Megan Huber's
Yeah.
house, yeah.
Oh, that one
The
might be.
farm with the white cows.
That might be one. But,
I think there's a log cabin just past her that, I'm not sure if that was just over where it stopped or not, I don't remember.
Do
but-
they have mailboxes at the end of the road, or do they have?
I think they're up. I think they're up in there, but
Yeah, I think they are
have
too.
to check.
And then about a mile or so in, there's another home in there.
There's one way down. Yeah.
There's one way
Yeah.
down, just,
Yeah. So I will get you an answer on that. But it's interesting. I don't understand where it's coming
Wish
from.
they'd given us more time because they wanted the answer by tomorrow, but even if we don't have it, I'll send it on when we get it.
I'll get them an answer. So I just don't understand the logic behind it. Why don't they just say we don't deliver mail on private roads and
you could put all mailboxes right out front. I mean, I've seen rows of them.
yeah. So
There's one person lived down there, used to bring his oil tank out to the end of the road to get it filled. 'Cause the oil company wouldn't go down there because he kept getting stuck.
So we've been working on getting the runaround pond ready. As soon as the frost lets go, we'll start replacing culverts and we keep saying we're gonna go cut trees and brush up there, but it's always something that comes up. So I'm hoping we get started this week now on the tree cutting. And if it doesn't snow, well, of course, now tomorrow night it might snow again. I'm waiting for some test borings from all states. They're gonna dig safe. I talked to them today. They're gonna call and get a dig safe and go drill some holes. The reports that I gave them were not detailed enough for whatever they needed. So I was hoping it would be, but
Is there a possibility that they could come back and say, we need to do a different, that the method that we've chosen isn't gonna be correct? And-
It could say it won't work, and so if they do say it won't work, then we'll do something that's similar costs, but we'll either add more gravel instead and put fabric and more aggregate instead.
I'm just worried about the cost, whether to drive the cost up.
Yeah, I'll take whatever that cost is and put that money into gravel, and aggregate, and
Okay.
build a road base with it, so. We've been out tending frost heaves and babysitting them and putting sand and grading them, and I'm hoping that they're almost done and that they're not permanent, but
Must have been a decent year for it, not too terrible, 'cause
it wasn't as bad as usual.
I know the one on Route 9 didn't appear this year. Last 2 or 3 years, if you hit that one, you.
One on one side of my house is not nearly as bad as it has been in years past, but there's one on the other side that's never popped up that was there, so.
Any ideas when we're lifting the load limits?
The road postings, I'm thinking sometime in the next couple of weeks. Freeport pulled theirs last week, but I was just out last weekend with a probe checking, and I had frost at 8 to 12 inches, so. When you get into the shaded areas and low where there's a lot of water,
Brunswick's by April 1st, I think.
I think April 1st is probably a realistic date. I do have one house down here on Rabbit Road, the first house, if you turn off Route 9 on the right-hand side, the septic system has failed, and she needs to get that replaced, so I said this week she'd be okay. That's in the full sun, that road was built, it drains better in that section, that first piece, and I don't believe there's any frost in that particular piece, and so I talked with the contractor today, told him he's set to go for this week, and I will email him that, and he's gonna load the truck's light, and the minute, if he sees anything wrong, he'll stop and we'll meet and talk about it, but I think he'll be fine with that lot. We finished culvert inventory. We've got 3 linear miles of culvert. If we laid them all end to end, we'd be 3 miles. So that's a lot of culverts in the road that we're inventorying and mapping. I ordered some big maps from our mapping company, O'Donnell Associates, and so we're putting all the culverts on different colors for different sizes to scale on a map, and then we'll put them in a computer database, and we'll have a capital improvement plan for those as well as the roads. So I attended a class for discipline personnel issues on the 10th. Like I told you I was going to that. That was informative. We'll be attending a class on the 5th. The Pownell and Durham crews will be attending roadway fundamentals. It's a broad-based class that encompasses pretty much all aspects of road building, construction, right-of-way, asset management, and for Pownell, I built this and I showed it to Jeff as a very detailed analysis and cost. It's a 10-year plan to get us out of the woods and keep us out of the woods in the future. What it actually costs us every year for our roads to maintain them, just to keep them. There is a bottom line dollar amount that theirs is done. I'm going to be working on ours in the next. Hopefully, would have it. I was hoping to have it done today so we could look at it and perhaps go over it at town meeting. But I don't know that. Short of me maybe just calling you and letting you look at it, meeting with you to look at it. To see if it's something you want to present at meeting.
If you get it, we can take a look at it. I'm not sure whether it'll be pertinent to this year's or not, but we can take a look at it. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Certainly, it would be nice to give the townspeople sort of a long-term view of what it looks like and what the costs associated are.
Yep. I know I've been getting some calls from people that are going to be at the meeting that want to know what the plan is, a long-term plan, and how we're going to make sure we don't get in this mess again. And so that's part of what that will cover, so. The wall at the Public Works facility was fixed, that we had an accident with this winter. And we paid them today. I guess you probably have that in your.
Okay.
So that's what I got.
Thank
Any,
you.
any questions for? All right, thank you very much. Anything else that needs to be covered tonight before I go into the comments? All right, selectmen's comments. We'll make a note. We've had several complaints come in about different wood cutting operations that are going on and the noise that is being generated. And just put it out there. At this point, the town of Durham does not have any ordinances related to noise as it pertains to a wood cutting operation on private property. Nor do we require permits for it. Depending on the operation, there may be some state permits required, but so there's not a lot we can do about that at this point. It could be something that could be looked at as adding into an ordinance at some point in the future. Maybe in conjunction, we're wanting to look towards a new comprehensive plan at some point, and so this could be something that would be looked at, but as of right now, there's not much we can do about it. But I know we had 2 calls on an operation over on Pinkham Brook Road, and from what our codes officer said, he's also received some calls on Davis Road.
And Paul has been out to the places that the cutting, that people have complained about it, and confirmed that the people have their state signage and what have you, and that there isn't anything that the town has any control over.
Wood chop is one of them jobs, the weather and the time and the sunlight all dictates what you do and how you do it, so unless it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I would say, I can tell you that I got an email at 6:37 this morning from somebody who could hear the trucks running outside their window.
Well, they should have been up.
Less
They
than
should have been up
impressed.
anyways, getting ready to go to work by then.
The state statute is 6 to 10, 6 a.m. noise, the state statute noise ordinance is 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Right.
You can make noise between those hours.
They can always just watch the weather forecast, and if it's getting warm, just call DOT. No
Yeah.
logging trucks will be going in and out of that place. There's other ways around the noise ordinance to be a pain.
So, and beyond that, we've got regular selectmen's meetings to be held here at the town office. Well, that's happening today, so that one we don't need. Tuesday, April 5th, 2016 at 6:30 p.m. and Tuesday, April 19th at 6:30 p.m. as well. Municipal elections will be held at the Durham Community School on April 1st from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and there are absentee ballots available until March 28th at 4:30 p.m. Please note this is not just a municipal election for officers. There is also the article about withdrawal from the RSU. And the town meeting will be held at the Durham Community School on April 2nd, beginning at 9 a.m. If there's nothing else, I'll take a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
If he sets a record, I'm gonna be on time.
You may not leave until you sign.
Maybe.
What am I signing? What's this one? Well, I'm not.
That's the warrant.